This is a story about a young girl who loved the Lord more than she loved her own life. We don't have her name. We know her as Jephthah's daughter. And the story of Jephthah is he was son of a prostitute. The brothers drove him out. He became a leader and a very good warrior. When Israel was having some issues, they asked him to lead. His response was, if the Lord would be with him, then he would do it. It also talks about the Spirit of the Lord was with him as he went about the land. When the Ammonites wanted to fight, his first response was to try to negotiate. He tried to remind them about how Israel took the land and why and the history on it. When the Ammonites still wouldn't consider not fighting, then he went to battle with them. But he asked the Lord for his help, and he made a vow to the Lord. Whatever greeted him, when he returned home, he was going to offer that as a sacrifice. And of course, we know that vow is a problem. And he goes to battle, and he wins. So when he comes home, he's excited because he won the battle. But when his daughter comes out to meet him, and she's his only child, and she's excited because he won, and she's dancing and happy, and here's that tambourine again. When he sees her, he rents his clothes, he's distressed, he's distraught, and she's like, well, what happened? And so he tells her about the vow. Her response is, you've opened your mouth to Jehovah. Do unto me according to everything that proceeded out of your mouth. Her response tells you how much she feared God, how much she valued any kind of promise to the Lord, and how willing she was to serve. She did ask for a couple of things, and so it goes on in Judges 11. It says, give me a couple of months that I can mourn the fact that I'm never going to be a mom, or never going to be married, or never have a family, and let me take some friends with me. And I want to do this for a couple of months, which I think is pretty awesome. I mean, she had this tremendous life change, or death sentence possibly, and she knew enough to go ask for help. She brought people around her. She didn't just turtle and feel sorry for herself. She went out and got support from her friends. And I think that's a very healthy approach. So she went up and she came back. She was trustworthy. He trusted that if she said she was going to do it, she came back. And I think that's a characteristic that's pretty amazing. At the end of the 2 months, she returned to her father. And the Bible says he did as he had vowed. The women here would remember Jephthah and what she did. And I think that's a story we should remember as well, and a story that we should take to heart as this girl's attitude and the things that she represents. So when you think of Jephthah's daughter, what I think is someone who loved God. I think of someone who was brave, someone who was clever enough to ask for support when she needed it. She was trustworthy. I know we don't talk about too many people that would qualify as being pure in heart, but I think she's one of those people that would be pretty close. I want to bring up one other point that I think is pretty interesting for me, and that is in the New Testament, in Luke 1, we have a story of a young girl who's not married, who's a virgin, and she gets a message. The life that she had imagined was not going to happen. And her response when the angel Gabriel talks to her, Mary, is, let it be according to your word, which is very similar to what Jephthah said. So I think of Jephthah as maybe someone that Mary had in the back of her mind in terms of someone to emulate. And I think that that's something that we could all do. And I think Jephthah's daughter is a tremendous example. Thank you.